We gonna be all right. All right, we gonna get our stock thing gonna be all right. Can you do me a favor? Can you go look in the where the conference room is? Straight back there. See the TV on the wall? On the other side of that is the conference room. To the right side, there's a copier. To the left side, in the back of the copier, there should be some copies. Can you grab those for me? Thank you. I didn't close it when you, yeah, yeah. Well, it was gonna be. Well, yeah. Yeah, so just okay. So if you want a title, just put fundamental analysis. Yes, yeah, that's a. And you can't log into the Wi-Fi either. Oh, Dave moved the password. Dave, can you put the password up for the Wi-Fi one more time? All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, and then we'll get started. So today, all the stocks are moving along fine. Huh? No paper was printed? Zero? Zip zilch? I swear I hate technology sometimes. Uh, yeah, thank you. I'm going to try it one more time. Print. Print. Okay. Your margins are pretty small, so your content might be cut. So want to print. Oh, you know what? It's because it changed the margin things. That's what happened. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all what happened, and then we'll get started. Y'all ready? Okay, so this is what happened. Today, the market was moving along. Everything was fine. In fact, since the beginning of the year, market has been moving. It's been, like doing its thing. And so you guys know Trump attacked Venezuela, right? Captured the president and his wife, all that kind of stuff, right? So there's a whole story behind that. I won't get into that. But nonetheless, what happened was, or one of the results of that is that when Trump attacked Venezuela, and what he's doing is he's taking over. Matter of fact, he said it. He said, we're going to run the country until somebody's in place, right? So here's what we don't know. And I got slides, but not this week because, anyway. Well, here's what's happening. So Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. And Venezuela China has been a partner with Venezuela trading oil. So they would loan Venezuela money to help their economy, all that. Venezuela would reciprocate by sending like barrels of oil, right? And so they were a partner with Venezuela, but Trump and China are funking, right? And Trump needs the oil, and Venezuela is also very, very rich in rare earth materials, right? All of those things, not oil, rare earth materials would be like precious metals, stuff like that. So all of those things are needed to help to fuel AI. The oil is important because the oil goes into, well, we use oil for a ton of stuff, but everything starts tanking. He comes back after the market closed and makes another announcement. And he says, but here's what I want you to do with the money. Right? Hour later, but here's what I want you to do with the money. The United States is going to is the United States is looking to spend $500 billion, $500 billion in defense spending this year. So get ready for that. So after market, all of the big boys in the companies, stock prices are right? A stop loss is where you tell your account if the stock goes under 90, just sell it. Right? So your account is just sitting there, and as long as the account is going up, it ain't no problem. But if the market takes a turn and then your stock goes, under 90, and so you're not losing all your money, if you tell your stock to do that, your account to do that, it will sell it at 90 automatically, right? These are called stop losses. And so what happened is Trump makes this announcement. People who are tuned in like me, I'm selling, and everybody else is triggering their stop losses, right? So everybody's dipping money and taking losses, and he and his dudes over there, well, let me go make this announcement and wake this thing back up. Listen, you talk about armed robbery. It is illegal. It is.
People probably knew that he was going to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. For Trump, there's no consequences. There's no consequences. Consequences, consequences. Trump, see, here's what you got to understand about Trump. Trump doesn't care. He does what he wants to do, and he's already convinced. He's already got the Supreme Court to pass the law that states that no president can be indicted for anything he does while in office. This dude has zero cares about anything Dave, it went off again. Dude, what? Yeah, he has zero cares about anything he does or says. Zero. Right? Zero. So that's what happened today. It's another happy day at the market.
That explains when the Chinese probably make up AI message from like the president of China who came on and said all of what he said, because now people are spinning it and making up stuff.
Well, he did say something. Yeah, President he did say something. I forget what he said, but it was something pretty strong.
It was about nuclear.
No, it was it might have been a nuclear. I'm not sure, because I didn't see that. But he did say he did say. No. He did say. He went on TV and he did say. He said Taiwan will be. He said Taiwan will be under Chinese rule or something like that. He said, yeah. And
Like, yeah, y'all done went to Venezuela. Now we going to Taiwan. Say something.
Listen, that's a whole. That is a whole other issue.
Because we get stuff from Taiwan, right?
Chips. Yes. So there's a company called Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM.
And we don't want them to mess with them.
TSM produces 90% of all chips produced in the world.
You got to understand what those chips are. They actually are in radio, cell phones.
Everything.
They make the chips.
Everything. And so, yeah. So it's a listen, when I tell y'all it's a whole war, everybody flexing. So, all right. So here we go. So that's current news. Okay. So let's see where we at. Hold on. What time is it? I think I'm going to skip this whole first part. Yeah. Cause we passed time. Okay. Here we go. So when we met last time, see, I had a whole little Bible study session and y'all ain't got y'all laptops. Hold on. Where's my stuff? Boom. Okay. All right. Okay. Y'all want to do the Bible study part or jump right into the stock stuff? Okay. Okay, all right, here we go. Bible study stuff. Okay, investing is simple, okay? It's simple. Let's all read this together. Genesis chapter 1, starting at verse 11. 1, 2, 3, go. I wanted to say all together now.
But no, verse 12 was kind of like saying the same thing and making it complicated. You know, I have comprehension disabilities.
Okay, got you.
12 would have made me be like, let me read that 7 times before I could get that.
Got you.
But
All right. So pretty much, this is the description of when God created all the fruits, vegetables, all those kinds of things. All right. And so, yes, sir. Matter of fact, I need y'all at the table.
I want to throw a quick little caveat in this. So when it says, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you should be eating fruit that produce their own seed instead of seedless fruit.
Thank you, personal trainer.
I eat grapes and watermelon.
All right. All right. I feel you.
That health food store in El Cerrito, they always have watermelon seeded.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. So here we go. All right. Here we go. So with this, right, the creation of the fruits, vegetables, all those kinds of things. What we learn, and as Rob pointed out, is that all of these things are created with seed in them. And so the question becomes, how do you get more fruits and how do you get more vegetables? Right? It's really simple, right? You just plant more seeds, right? That's really simple, right? It's not complicated, right? And so really that's all investing is that whenever, so you got to remember, at this time, there was no money, right? Genesis was written to an agricultural community. These were agricultural people. So their money was their crops, right? That was the money. That's what they used to barter. That's what they used to trade and to do all the things. And so later on, right, you kind of stumble forward years and years and years, centuries later, and people come up with the concept of money, where you have something that represents something else, and now this thing becomes worth something, right? So it's kind of like us, right? Like we have money, right? This is actually not worth anything. It's just a piece of paper with some ink on it, right? But it represents something. Right? It represents something. And so on here, I think it still says it, like it says a promissory note or something like that. Is that right? Reserve note, right? And so what it is this is a promise that the United States will honor the worth of this bill. Right? And this is what, so we call this money and we trade this. At that time, they didn't have this. They just had the actual thing, right? And so when you see this, you have to see it as a little bit bigger than just food. This was also their income. And so as a part of their income, every time something was produced or given to them, there was some kind of seed in it so that they could produce more income. Does that make sense? All right. So, and that's really, like, to be honest, that's all investing is. It is taking a part of anything that you receive, right? Again, money, right? We get paid. This is what we get paid. This is our income. It's taking a piece of this, right? So it's not you get paid, right? And this ain't much money. This is like, let me see, $67, right? So if you get paid $67, maybe you keep 60 and you take 7, and then the 7 you go put that somewhere, right? And you let that grow. Right? That would be the seed from this. Does that make sense? Now, until you see your money like that, you're gonna have right? You're always gonna run into a problem. And the problem is gonna be you'll always have a need to figure out how to get more money. Right? And when times are lean, like, we start borrowing other people's money. right? And then we get in trouble. When God has, and this is the point, God has already fixed the problem, right? The problem is inherent in the income. So if it's inherent in the income, I just have to recognize that in whatever I get, there's some seed, and my job is I take the seed and then I plant the seed. I take the seed and I invest it back in the ground, and then I let the ground do what it does, and then it should produce vegetation with seed in it. I'm so proud of y'all. Right? And so investing is simple, right? And so so in investing, we do have a job. So here's our job. Watch what it says. The Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to take care of it. So our job is to work it and take care of it. To work what? Right? Right? So you got to translate it, right? You got to translate it. So the Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden, right? This was his job, where he would get paid, right? His pay was his fruit, the food that would come. And inside of the food that would come, there would be seed. And he was to take the seed and plant it. And where did he plant it? In the garden. And so, right? So in other words, our job, so investing is simple. You take the money, you put it in the ground. But once you put the money in the ground, that's not the end of it. You have to work it and take care of it. Okay? Now, what does that mean? To work it, right? If you're taking notes, to work it, this word in the Hebrew, it means to serve, right? It means to work. It means pretty much, it means you have to do something for it to function properly. Okay? So if you ever tried to grow anything, you know this. If you take a seed and you put it in the ground and you walk away from it and do absolutely nothing, it might or it might not grow. And if it grows, it ain't going to let it. That thing needs some care. Yes. Except for my apple tree. Yes. My apple tree is ridiculous.
That's like a cactus or something like that, 'cause you ain't got to do nothing to no aloe vera. You nowhere. Yep. So, and sometimes that happens, right? But for the most part, right, you have to work it. Right? And so when you think about your investment, if you take some money and you put it somewhere and you invest it, you can't just invest it, you got to work it. Right? So like so what I did before I got married, I did not want to get married without owning something. I just felt like I needed to bring something to the table. And so before we got married, I purchased my first house. Right? It was an investment. I've never spent a night in it. It's always been a rental. But it would have, and that house, so when I bought it, it was a crack house. Yeah, Sid, remember? He was there. It was a crack house, right? And so we went in there, and like, it was crackish, right? It was crackish. You know what I mean? And so, no, there was nobody in there. It was abandoned, but it was crackish, right? And so in order for it to actually be a good investment, I had to work it, right? Had to work it. And so I had to get in there and pull up some floors and put some new ones down and replace the roof and do some painting, and you know what I mean? Like I had to work it. It just wasn't going to do what I needed to do as a rental just by investing in it. Does that make sense?
right? So I had to work it. And then it says to care for it. So the word care in the Hebrew, it means to guard, right? And it's a word which means to observe. It means to give heed to, right? So in other words, to care for it means you got to pay it some attention. Right, and so when we were fixing up the rental house, I told you I was a crack house. So I had to make sure that when we left for the day and went home, you had to lock that thing up. And you could not leave expensive tools out in the open for anybody to go by and look in the window, right, and get their next hit. So we had to take stuff out or remove things or, do whatever we needed to do. And we had to care for it. We had to, you know what I mean? We had to put up a fence to keep people out because they'll just come in the backyard and hang out when nobody's there and all that kind of stuff, right? So we had to care for it. And the investment has paid off handsomely, I might say, right? And so we've just been able to, so we paid it off. It was paid off. And then we took out a loan and just built 2 more units, right? So now it's a 3-unit property as opposed to a 1-unit property, and the money for the loan is actually being paid back simply by the rent from the first unit, and we're still positive cash flowing with that. So the other 2 units is just free and clear, right? And so my goal over the next 5 years is I want to get all of the money that we borrowed out of the market and pay it off again, right? So is everybody with me? But none of that stuff turns out the way you want it to unless you and bingo. Got it? Okay. Investing is simple, right? It's not complicated. Okay. So here we go. Next part. We also have a responsibility. Okay. Our responsibility is right here. Watch what it says. Everybody read. 1, 2, 3, go. Right? So notice they link the agricultural to verse 24, the riches, right? Remember I told you this is an agricultural society. So their riches, their money was in their agricultural produce, right? So he says, be careful to, and I want you to underline this. Well, no, don't underline it. You have to write it to underline it. But just make a note of it if you got your Bibles or something. But be sure to know the condition of your flocks, right? You got to know the condition of your flocks. And in other words, if we're going to translate this to investing, you got to know your numbers. You have to know your numbers, right? You got to know them, right? And he says, know the condition of your flock. You got to know the condition of your numbers. Right? Are you positive every month or negative every month? Are you breaking even every month? Where are you at? How you doing? If you're positive every month, how positive are you? Give me the number. How much are you investing every month? How much do you have to invest every month? What's the number? You got to know the condition of your flocks, right? And then he says, give careful attention to your herds. It's all about being able to pay attention. It's all about our attentiveness to the things that are in or within our responsibility. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So here we go. So if I'm going to know the condition, this is key. If I'm going to know the condition of my flocks, I need to know how to tell whether or not my flocks are healthy or unhealthy. Does that make sense? I need to know if I'm going, and I can only know that if I give careful attention to them, right? So I got to pay attention, and then I got to know what I'm looking for. I got to know the signs. Have you guys ever, like we had a Meyer lemon tree, and we just bought another one because the first one we had died. Hated that it died because I love Meyer lemons and that thing produced really good. And so we bought another one and planted it. And so we went out one day and the leaves on the Meyer's lemon tree started turning like this yellowish, brownish kind of color, right? And I was thinking, it's okay. It's like the season changing or whatever. But then it kept changing and then the leaves were getting like real dry. And then the leaves start falling off. But it was weird because it was still producing lemons. But the lemons were starting to be smaller. Right? And then I noticed there were a couple of branches where the whole branch was dry. And then you just break it off. But then other branches were nice and moist. And this went on for some time. And then eventually it was like, I think that thing is sick, right? And we didn't know. So because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I just need more water. So I'm just, watering. I'm just watering that thing, and then I go out the next day, right? Drink it up, right? And I'm watering it, and then I go out, water, and then we downloaded this app. And it's an app that tells you if you got a problem with your plant and then you take a picture or something, that thing will tell you what's going on with your plant. And so I downloaded this app and then put it on the lemon tree, and the app was like, that tree looks sick, right? and so I was like, duh. And so then, the thing came out again. So then then the app, so then it was like, it diagnosed it, and then it told us, it said, stop watering it. Right? So, stop watering it. And so here we are killing the poor thing, right? Because we didn't understand the signs of health, right? We didn't understand if it was healthy or if it was not healthy and how to tell, right? And it took somebody to create an app or something that told us this is what health looks like. And so now with the new one that we have, it's like, okay, let me pay attention, right? Let me watch it. Let me check it out, right? Let me make sure the ground is breathing. You know what I mean? I might need to take some eggshells and chop them up and stick them in there. I may need to, you know what I mean? Like so I'm paying attention. Does that make sense? Right? And so it's the same thing when we start talking about investing, and it's the same thing with stocks, right? And so when we start talking about investing in stocks in the stock market, one of the reasons why people fail miserably sometimes is because we just don't know the signs of health and unhealth, right? And so that's what I want to teach you guys is I want to talk about stock health, okay? Now, stock health, when we start talking about stock health, right next to that, I want you to write the word fundamental analysis, okay? Fundamental analysis. And what fundamental analysis is, it's a way that you examine a stock in order to find out if this stock is healthy or not. Does that make sense? Okay? And fundamental analysis. Okay? All right? And so when we start talking about purchasing a stock, there's two mind shifts I need for you to make. Okay? When we start talking about purchasing stock, number one, I need you to begin to think more like a business owner and less like an investor. Okay? Why? Because the goal of an investor is, I want some money. I'm putting my money in because I want some money out. That's all I want as an investor. If I put my money here, how I'm going to get my money out? And how am I going to get more than what I put in? That's all I care about. And that's okay, but that's a narrow way to understand stock, and it's a narrow way to understand investing. When you purchase a stock, you got to It's a mind shift. When you purchase a stock, you have to understand you at that point are an owner of a company. You're a business owner, right? You're not just an investor. You are a business owner. And I need for you to think about investing. When we talk about stocks, you have to think about it like a business owner, like the owner of a business. And you got to think about that more than you're thinking about being an investor. Okay? Why? Because if you think about it like that, like a business owner as opposed to an investor, you'll see it different. Okay? You'll see it different. And if you see it different, you'll treat it different. Okay? Let me tell you why. Gamblers are investors too. They are. Ask casinos. Right? Ask casinos. Right? Gamblers are their best investors. Right? And so people go and they put their money in the machine with the hope to get money out. Does that make sense? But here's the problem. They're thinking like an investor. I just want money out. They're not thinking like a business owner. Right? They're not concerned with the probability of this machine paying off. They're not concerned with the win rate of these machines or of this game or what the odds are. They're not concerned with any of that. Yeah. Just like the lottery. And the stock market can be like that. Like there's people who think, well, stock market is gambling. It's gambling for people who gamble. For people who are business owners, this ain't a gamble. This is an investment. Does that make sense? All right, so if that don't work, let me switch it this way. You want to think about investing. When you start talking about purchasing stock, you want to think about investing like picking a spouse. Right? For some people, it is gambling. For some people, it is. For some people, listen, picking a spouse is absolutely gambling. Yeah, it's a high-risk investment. And for me, it is such high risk, I'm not willing to gamble. Right? I'm willing to, and this is, some of us have been so burned in this area. We not interested in putting no more money right over there in that machine.
The gambling is pushing me away, Pastor, because I don't gamble. Like that's
yes.
a cardinal rule.
Absolutely. And what I'm suggesting is the stock investing in stocks is not gambling if you treat it as a business. Right? You're a business owner, right? So, like, for instance, when me and my wife got married, I did not get married hoping it would work. It's a business decision, part of it, right? And so what a lot of people do is they treat relationships like it's a gamble. And it's like, okay, they look good, I like it, okay, hopefully this works. And it's like you be at the altar like, come on. Yeah. And that's not how this works, right? And so if you're going to give your life to somebody and say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you, you don't need to gamble. That's an investment.
But I think most
right?
people look at way more than that about who this person is. They sizing up other stuff.
Most people don't. That's Miss Kathleen, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Yeah, right? So So when we start talking about stock investing, I want to do what's called stock dating. we got to learn how to date stock, okay? So here it is. So, and there's a correlation between dating people and dating stock, right? And so when you're dating people, your question is, who are you? That's what you want to know. Who are you? Right? Who am I really looking at? Because what I don't want is I don't want to say I do and get down the road and then you're not who I thought you were. Right? We don't want that. And so, but it's the same thing with a stock. The question is, who is this company? Right? Who is this company? Right? What? Wait, hold on. Who are you? Right? That's the question. Who are you? That's what you need to ask any company you're interested in. Who are you? Right? Why are you worth my investment? Right? You should ask that of every person you every day. Why are you worth my time? Time is the most valuable thing I have, and I will never get it back. Convince me that you are worth the most precious thing I have. Right? So, who are you? Number 2, what you do for a living? Right? You better ask that question. Right? What do you do for a living? When me and Dee got married, I had to ask that question. I had to ask, okay, what you gonna do? Where you gonna work? And she had to ask it of me. What you gonna do? And where you gonna work? Right? And I had to ask it because at the time I was a CME preacher. Right? And as a CME preacher, they have the right to move you wherever they want to move you. So I had to have a wife who, if I was going to stay in the CME church and I were to be moved somewhere, I had to have a wife who could be employed somewhere and her job could transfer anywhere, right? It would be easy to be hired anywhere. So when my wife was in the medical field doing midwifery, I was like, oh, yeah. That fits, right? That fits the directionality of where we might be going in life. Does that make sense? That ain't got nothing to do with, ooh, girl, you fine, I just love. No, that has everything to do with, you know what I mean? Where you working, right? What you doing, right? And so, what do you do for a living? And so you got to ask the company, what is your work? Right? So you want NVIDIA. Why? Because everybody else got it? You want Apple. Why? Because everybody else got it? Like, what does Apple do? Please don't say they make phones. That is a smidgen of what Apple does. Right? So what's their work? What do they do? Right? You dating somebody? What's your income? How much you make? You gotta have that conversation at some point. Why? Because that determines your lifestyle. Right? What's your income? What do you make? What are you looking to make? Miss Kathleen, my office is filled.
Her husband doesn't know how much she makes, and she just tells him how much money she needs, and he gives it to her.
Yeah.
They don't, because I asked her, and she was like, no, she doesn't know.
The conversation around how is it that you done got this far and you don't know their parents.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the who are you, and then you later on find out they got crazy as their own parents, they got mental health issues.
Oh, yeah.
Well, some people nowadays, this generation don't even speak to their parents. So when they say,
But it's who are
I
they?
don't-
They don't know. And
They don't know.
just like it is, like what is the history? I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. It's like who is it?
Oh, yeah. They don't. I've counseled couples and they didn't even know that their spouse had a child. It was not a conversation. No. 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 I'm serious. So here we go. All right. So what's your income, right? So you want to ask a company that you want to invest in, how much you make? Right? How much does this company make? Right? How long have you been on your job? Right? Listen, you better ask somebody. Yeah, I'm a supervisor over at, okay, but how long you been there, though? About 2 weeks. Right? Where was you before that? Well, I was a supervisor over at, well, how long was you there? About a month. Wait, hold on. Right? And so you need some job. I want to see a job history. Why? Because job history tells me a little bit about your ability to be stable. Right? And so you want to ask a company, how long have you been around? Right? How long you been around? Listen, it's a lot of stuff. Right, here we go. Do you have outstanding debts? You better ask that question. Right? You better ask it. Do you have outstanding debt? That was another one. I've counseled several couples who got married, and then when they got married, one couple found out, one person found out, oh, wait a minute. We 300,000 in? Right? Listen, I'm telling you, I counseled a couple who they were married, they had been married, they're having some problems. I'm sitting down with them and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And they started explaining it, and she was like, well, he don't like to travel, he don't like to go nowhere, and I be wanting to travel and do things, but he don't like to. And then in the session, he says, I have a phobia of crossing bridges. That was her first time hearing it. And she could not figure out for years why they couldn't go. They ain't never been to San Francisco. They ain't never been to Vallejo. They ain't never, and because he just won't go. She want to go somewhere, whatever. He'd be like, I'm just going to stay home.
He never told that. He never like, babe, I don't do bridges,
Listen,
So it's a double-edged sword, though, right? Because he didn't tell her, but she didn't work it.
She ain't working.
Right, because if she had worked it and actually do the due diligence,
Yes.
and asking questions,
Yes.
she might have gotten that from him.
Come on.
Because he would have freely gave it.
Well, now we're going to blame it on her.
No, we're just saying that.
No. Miss Kathleen, I know what's going on here. But see, here's the thing, right? So think about it this way, right? How much debt does the company carry, right? See, and here's the thing. A lot of this stuff is public knowledge. Even when you're dating people, there's stuff about them that's public knowledge, but you ain't never talked to their friends. You ain't never talked to their family. You ain't never asked no questions. You ain't never observed nothing. You're right. You Google them joints. Right? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, there's due diligence that you have to do, right? Because if you do some of this due diligence and you end up in a relationship, what you'll discover is you didn't just fall into a relationship, right? You planned your way into one. That's not gambling, even though there's risk, but it's a controlled risk, right? That's an investment. And so here we go. Here's another one. What do you do every day? Right? Right? What do you do every day? You know what I mean? Like, well, yeah. Well, tell me what you do every day. You told me what you work, where you work, Tommy, but do you? But yeah, what's your job description? What do you do? Right? What do you do every day? How do you spend your day? Does that make sense? And so, same thing with the company. What are your habits? Right? What are the habits of the company? Right? How does this company work? How do they handle things? How do they handle money? All of that. Here's a big one you want to ask. What are you like when you're angry? Right? What are you like when you're angry? And then you want to ask the company, right? How you want to know? How do you handle pressure? How do you handle it when Trump makes a tweet? Right? Against your industry. Do you fold or do you innovate? Right? Are you here's a question. Are you a Sears or an Amazon?
So are you asking them am I old or young, or are you asking them
No.
I mean,
I'm asking, when you're looking at somebody, the question is, are you a Blockbuster or are you a Netflix?
But how can you compare them? Because Netflix ain't been long as long as Blockbuster had been. Man, come on now. How long?
Because when the shift, Blockbuster never shifted. They stuck. They never innovated. They didn't grow. They stopped growing.
But then
This is what you call two people in a relationship, and we say we just grew apart. Because somebody's a Blockbuster and somebody else is a Netflix.
But when you compare them, we haven't really seen the longevity of Netflix and Amazon because they are kind of like new companies.
No, they're not. Them joints been around.
But can you compare how long Blockbusters was in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to how long Amazon?
Mm-hmm. For sure. 100%.
Look at it this way. Look at it.
100%.
I should have left him 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No, look at
That's
it.
because they didn't size that up. Was that all?
Yeah.
That
Well, yeah,
sized
that's what-
up?
that's-
They
Yeah.
stayed
part of
waiting on them Blockbusters.
Right.
They never became.
Right.
And
And-
then they said, I saw it when it all happened.
yeah.
Well, you got to also remember too when you talk about Blockbuster, they were the innovators
They were.
at the time.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Can you
but
compare it like?
No, but you got to understand. So what he's trying to get you to do is shift your thinking, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a problem that you're facing, right? Do you fold? Do you not change? It's kind of like our walk with God,
I
right?
mean, I understand what he's saying, but
Mhm.
I feel like it's not fair to compare them two companies because, like, this is something that, you know, I can't sit up here and say how long Blockbusters was a company based off of Amazon, and Amazon is what? It started in what, the 2000s? Right, Netflix, you know, late 90s or something like that.
in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm,
Yeah. At this point, Amazon has been around much longer than Blockbuster. So has Netflix. Yeah. Yeah. Netflix was in business when Blockbuster was in business. In fact, Netflix came in while Blockbuster was at their peak.
I thought that was Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video is that's a different girl.
I remember that Blockbuster was gone and it turned into a Hollywood Videos, and then I remember Netflix.
Yeah. No, that was. But see, here's the point. Like the whole idea, and this was the shift because I read about it. Right, the shift was that Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and then all of your little mom and pop stores. You know, in Richmond, you had Dunkley Video. There was like 2 or 3 of them on San Pablo, where that right there on San Pablo and Solano. It's a tattoo shop now. That was a video place. It was another one on San Pablo over there it was on San Pablo, in San Pablo, across the street from the San Pablo police station. That was another video place over there. And yeah, it was another place. And so here's the thing. The difference between all of them and Netflix, and I know this because I read the stuff about Netflix. Netflix made a decision that they were not in the movie rental business. that they make. See, everybody else was in the movie rental business. Netflix says we rent movies, but we're not in the rental movie business. Netflix says we're in the home entertainment industry. And because they innovated from movie rentals to home entertainment, they adopted a much more, it was infantile at the time. People didn't like it so much. When they moved to the subscription model, everybody dumped Netflix, and Netflix stayed there. And when people found out that more and more and more and more movies were actually being streamed, Netflix got way more interest, and people start signing back on again. And then Blockbuster starts struggling. Then you start seeing them because and as a last resort, Blockbuster started putting. Matter of fact, they were so far behind. You had Redbox that came out that put their stuff in the stores, and then Blockbuster tried to follow behind Redbox because they were still trying to rent movies.
See, and that's what
And so.
Redbox to like some of the things, because Redbox could have, I feel like Redbox could have innovated and kept going, but they just kind of like plateaued out with the still having.
There was no way to keep going in the rental business because the rental business was dead from streaming.
And
So you had to switch your whole model.
you would go to Blockbuster, and you could go there, and they wouldn't even have the movie.
Absolutely.
So when you have enough people going to try to rent the same movie, and you got to wait 2 weeks to a month out because it's
Yeah.
already been rented out.
Yeah.
Streaming then really became the necessity because everybody could see the movie whenever they wanted to.
Yep. All right, so here we go. And we're about to get at something that Navette was kind of gnawing on for a second. Here's what needs to happen. This needs to happen in relationships, and this needs to happen with investing. Here we go. We have to learn how to read and research. Okay? Read and research. And so when it comes to stock investing, here is a list of things that you need, that you can use. These are tools, right? These are the tools of the investor to do proper reading and research so that you can know the condition of your flocks, right? And so that you pay attention to your herds. And so one place that you can go for information is Wikipedia. Right? Wikipedia will give you a general overview of a company that you're looking at, stocks or whatever. There's another company called Seeking Alpha. Okay? Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha is another. It's a online platform, and when you go to Seeking Alpha, all you do is you just type in the ticker symbol for the stock you're interested in, and Seeking Alpha will give you a ton of information about that company. Does that make sense? Okay? And so now there's some things, like Seeking Alpha has a subscription thing to it. If you want to do it, you can. If you're just getting into it, just sign up for the free account. The more you get into it, and the more you get into this stuff, like this investing stuff, what you'll discover is you're going to need to have some subscriptions, right? Just because you're not going to get all the information you need just kind of on the free ski stuff, right? But don't go out there paying for nothing right now. Start off on the free ski stuff, okay? And so, but Seeking Alpha is a great place to find information on companies that you need to research and find out about. You want to go to Yahoo Finance. You want to, and this is why you need your laptops. Being on the laptop, right, online on their website is much better than the Yahoo Finance app. Okay, it's much better. There's many more tools and options on the website as opposed to the phone app. Okay, and then here's what you want. Now, this right here, these next few, this is some gold right here, right? This is gold. Okay, you want to get what's called a company profile. Okay? Company profiles can be pulled from just about any company's they'll call them investor relations page. And so if you're interested in a company, you can Google it. You can just say like Apple investor relations page, and it'll come right up, and you click it, it'll take you straight. So you don't have to go to the Apple website and then find it. You can just Google it, and it'll take you straight to the investor relations page. And all of that stuff will be on there. We good? Okay. So then, under the investor relations page, you want to find these reports. You want to find the 10K, and you want to find the 10Q. Okay? Now, the 10K is a report that every company in the stock market has to generate and create. It is a yearly review of how this company did for the entire year. It goes into financials. It talks about the philosophy of the company. It gets into what their projections are, what they're trying to do. Like it covers. It's tons of information in these 10K reports. Now, the other one is the 10Q. These are quarterly. So if you want to find out how a particular company did last quarter, then you find the 10Q, and then you can start going through the 10Q. Now, these reports are huge. Some of them are huge, and I'm talking like hundreds of pages, right? And so I'm not saying that you need to go through it and read through hundreds of pages. Why? Because we currently have ChatGPT. And so you can download a 200 to 300 page report, load it in ChatGPT, and tell Chat, can you please summarize this and analyze it and give me the high points of this report in understandable language for me? You can tell it, show me the projected what the projected goals are of the company, help me understand the financials inside of the report, and it will do it in ways where when you read it, you'll be like, okay, I got that. I understand it, right? So all of these things, this stuff, and here's what I need for you to see or understand. People who do big investing, like these cats who run these big hedge funds and stuff, they know this stuff. And they're trained to be able to go through the 10K, 10Q, go right to the stuff that they want and find it and pull it out, so they're not having to read the whole thing. But they've been reading for so long, and they're so familiar with the company that they can kind of go through the reports, pull out the important parts that they need, and then they know kind of the information they need to know in order to invest. Does that make sense? Right? And so this stuff had previously kind of been lost to the average investor like us, because the majority of us, we ain't got time. We ain't got time to read all of that for one company. Right? But with Chat, that's one of the benefits of Chat, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you take those, upload them. Matter of fact, hold on. I actually was going to have you guys do that, but since you don't have your laptops, let's see. Rosanna can do it. I know Rosanna can do it. Okay, here we go. So let me see. Desktop works. Yeah, desktop works. Dave, how do I get this part to show up on the screen? Oh, man, but then I can't.
Oh, but then you can't see it? Okay, then you got to go into your settings and say mirror instead of...
Yeah. No, I need to be able to.
Can't see it
I
on
need.
yours,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
You
need.
gotta change it to mirror in the settings.
I need to be able to see this joint. Hold on.
So you gotta go to settings.
Um.
Go into the display.
Yeah. Extend.
Instead of two, you can do mirror.
Wait. Okay. Duplicate these displays. Okay. Boom. Bam. Boom. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right. So can you see me? Y'all can see me? Okay. All right. Here we go. So let's go chat. Boom. All right. So I just so happen to have downloaded today a GEV 10K report. Okay. So let's upload the GEV 10K report, and let's ask chat, can you?
You gotta have a account to upload something, huh?
Yeah. Can you? I don't know. I think so. Yeah. Can you analyze and summarize this document and give me the highlights in user-friendly language and language. Also show the financial information in a way I can understand it. Oop. Boom. Okay, let's go. Let's see. What you gonna do, chat? What you gonna do, chat? Bam. Right? So let me hold on. Let me show you just right quick. Let me go back here. Stocks. Okay, so GEV 10K report. Just so you know, the 10K is 90 pages. And you see how quick chat did that? All right. So here we go. So what is GEV in simple terms? Right? So chat is giving you all the tea on GEV. Right? So it's about to explain it to you. It's about to give it to you. GEV is part of GE that now operates independently and focuses on electric power, building and servicing systems that generate power, move power, store it and manage it, support the shift to cleaner energy, right? Their equipment produces around 25% of the world's electricity. That may be important to know, right? We ain't talking California, right? Or just the United States. Right? The company was fully spun off from GE in April 2024 and is now its own public company.
What is spin-off mean?
You got, hey, listen, I want you to check this one out because they might have some dividend stocks too.
Yes. All right. So, right. So strategy. So now it's going to break down what their strategy is, what they're trying to do. It's going to go all into the business segments, right, from power to wind to electrification. And then this is key, the main risks, right? So never, ever, 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 ever decide to marry somebody and you don't know what the risk is of marrying them, right? Everybody got risks, right? And so you're risky. Right? And so, right, you're risky. And so every company you invest in has risks. The question is, do you understand what the risks are? Right? So that when something happens in the market or in the world or whatever, you know how this affects your company. Right? Does that make sense? Okay? And so financials, explain simply. Right? Did they make money? Yes. That's the big thing you need to know. Right? Right? Big improvement, right? That you need to know. So net income in 2022, in 2022, they had a $2.7 billion loss. 2023, they had a $438 million loss. Do you know what it takes? Do you know what kind of management and what kind of solid business practice you have to go from a $2.7 billion loss to a $438 million loss? That is incredible. And then the following year, they got a $1.55 billion profit? I do. Okay. All right. And so turnaround drivers, right? They got better pricing, fewer problem contracts, cost control, fewer restructuring hits than prior years. Are they generating cash? Yes, and improving fast, right? Listen, this is a whole cheat code right now. Listen, I'm telling y'all, listen, I'm not saying buy it. I'm just telling you, like, y'all getting whole cheat code information right now, right? This is cheat code kind of stuff. And so, our shareholding, huh? Yeah. 25 cents per share. So they just starting dividends, right? So stock buyback authorization up to $6 billion. That is huge, right? And see, any of these things, when you start to read this stuff, when you start hearing about stock buybacks and all that, and you're like, well, what is that? Why is that important? Then you just ask chat, why is stock buyback important for a company, right? And let me tell you why a stock buyback is important. Pretty much, here's the thing. If I'm trying to sell something to you, right? I want you to buy this. Buy, right? How much more valuable would it be to you if you saw me buying the stuff I'm trying to sell you?
That would give me, it wouldn't give me pause. It would give me the incentive to want to buy.
Yes, because I'm investing in my own stuff.
That's a hair club for men. I'm not only the owner, I'm also a client.
Yes, he's buying back, right? And so, yeah, absolutely. So whenever you hear like a company doing a buyback of shares, that 9 times out of 10, that's a very positive thing, right? And what they're trying to do is they're trying to stir stock prices to go higher because they're showing interest in their own thing, right? And investors look at that and be like, wait. If they invest in money in their own stuff, oh, come on, let's go, right? And everybody wants to go get it.
Your chat GPT, is this the paid version?
Yes.
I don't know. Just curious to know.
The paid version, you can't download nothing just from off the regular chat.
Get this information on the free version.
You can get it on the free version. Here's the thing. On the free version, they give you, so it's like, yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, you got to come back tomorrow. Yeah. 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 It was like, yeah, that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It asks you a question, you ask it, then it asks you another question, you ask it out, then you ask it. It's like, give me all of the stuff in a block instead of just asking me, one at a time.
Nah, go on over there and pay for me, and I'll do whatever you want. Right? And so anyway, so just this quick, right? All of this, and we're at the end of the summary. Right? So you've just summarized a 90-page complex corporate financial report right here on ChatGPT so you could understand it. And you're more than free to go back in and ask for clarifications on any of those things, or you can adjust your query.
That stock price though. 662. 662?
Yep. Right? Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Is this helpful?
So basically, it's right there while still working through challenges in the win. So
Yeah.
they're having challenges with the win.
Yes.
And stuff and everything.
Yep. Yep. But I tell you what, this company here is one of the beneficiaries of Venezuela takeover.
Really? Oh, okay. So that means we need to go get some soon.
All right. So, GEV. All right. So here we go. Let's go back. Okay. So here another company is SEC.gov. Okay. SEC.gov. My notes for here is you want to go back, like if you can go back on SEC.gov about 5 or 6 years if you want. And the key is the more you get familiar with a business, you begin to look at it like a business owner rather than a stock investor. Okay. Another place is CNBC. Right. Cut on CNBC. And then you can watch, they got stock news all the time on CNBC. And a part of it is this. You want to start to get used to the language, right? You got to hear it. And you just got to understand, it's kind of like you want to do kind of like an immersion, right? It's like, it's a foreign language. And they make it a foreign language for a reason. They don't want you in it. Yeah. 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 They honestly don't want you in it. And so there's much easier ways to call some of this stuff. But the language that they use, the way that they use it, how they use it, like this is why chat is so important, because chat can take it and simplify it, all those kinds of things. But you have to start listening to people talk because you start to learn the language. And the more you hear it, it's kind of like, if you hang around people that speak Spanish, you don't speak Spanish, but if you hang around them long enough, you'll pick up a couple words, right? And then you'll start using a couple words and say some stuff, and then, you may pick up, a couple more words and you'll add it. And it may not sound right coming out, but you kind of piece together the language. And that's how they do English, right? They kind of piece together the language until they can kind of speak the language that everybody else speaks. Finance is the same thing.
It's kind of what you were saying, what you showed earlier about work it and take care of it, right?
Yeah.
You have to get different resources. How I started was just with Robinhood, and then of course I'm a little bit above that now, but
Yeah.
I started getting books. They had the books for dummies.
Yeah.
That breaks it down, so you start learning a little bit of the language.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube.
Yep.
There's just a plethora of information.
Yep.
Well, people actually have platforms who are walking you through different aspects of it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you turn that on every day, and even if you're just in the kitchen washing dishes, whatever you're doing, you clean the house,
Yeah.
you'll start to pick up different things because they're going over different scenarios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's how because I'm not necessarily I'm a visual guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then a hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
And if I do the visual, give me the visual, you give me the hands-on,
Mhm.
and then I read,
Right.
I kind of grasp it, and I can hold it together.
Yeah. 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 You got to hear it.
Yeah.
It's just like people started, I was listening to somebody talk, and they kept talking about liquidity, right? They just kept saying liquidity, and then the liquidity, and then with the market, when it dips under here, you got this trend line that's going this way, and that one goes here, and then when it dipped down here, they looking for liquidity. The market need liquidity, so it goes down there, it picks up the liquidity, and then it comes back, and I'm like, what is this liquidity? It's cash. But why not just say cash? Because I don't want you in it with me. So I'll call it liquidity. Right? So it's just cash. Right? That's all it is, right? And so, but you got to hear it, and you got to hear it long enough to where when they say liquidity, you don't hear liquidity, you hear cash. Right? Like if I say C, what did I just say? Yes. But you didn't hear C, you heard yes.
Oh, okay.
right?
Oh, a C note.
C- Well, yeah, if I say a C note, what did I say? $100, right? So you really didn't hear C note, you heard $100. So your brain translates it just that fast, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And this same thing with you got to hear it enough where when you hear them say some stuff, it just, you know what I mean? It translates really fast. Okay.
You gotta turn that brain on too. Because I was
Yeah.
at Target talking to the lady, and she was talking to me, and then she turned around and said, "Oh, maybe." And I was looking at her like, and then I said, "Oh, now she's speaking Spanish. Oh, that means middle." I was like, "Girl, you can't go from speaking English to me. I got to turn that brain on."
Yeah.
She just said something to me, and I'm going, "What is that?" And they know.
Yeah, you got to get used to hearing it. And so, all right, so here we go. So what I want to go over right now is what's called the 5 key ratios example, okay? I created this a long time ago. I use waste management as an example. So all of these are old, the examples. But these, so again, when you go to the doctor, and they go in and they take your pulse and your blood pressure and they look in your mouth and your ears and all that kind of stuff. They're looking for certain things that tells them if you're healthy or not. When you're evaluating companies, there's about 12 things that you want to look for to tell whether or not a company is healthy. I'm going to give you the main 5, and then we'll come back and I'll give you the others. Okay? Everybody with me? But these are the main 5, okay? So the first one is what we call working capital. So what is working capital? It is the money the business has on hand within a 12-month period, okay? It's the money that the business has on hand within a 12-month period, the working capital. How much money you got, okay? This number should always be positive, always. 0 exceptions. If you're looking at a company and you want to invest in a company and you figure out their working capital and their working capital is negative, I don't care what you think about the company, who told you, what they told you about the company, what cousin worked for them. No. No. Right? They're not investable for you. Right? You're not a master investor yet. Right? And so you want to go the safe route, and you want to make sure that you get in things that you can trust. Okay? And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to find a company that has working capital that's in the positive. Now the question becomes, how do you determine a company's working capital? You have to look up the total current assets, and you have to subtract it from the total current liabilities. Once you subtract the liabilities from the assets, if the number is positive, that's their working capital. That's the money they have to work with, right? If the number is negative, they ain't got no money, okay? Now, why is that a problem? Because they don't have no money, they have to do what you do when you don't have no money. Borrow. And you know how much pressure, right? And you know the trouble that comes when you borrow and you don't have it, right? And so here we go. So I want you guys, let's do this. Let's pick a company. Somebody pick a company. Let's not do NVIDIA. Let's not do Costco. PG&E, is PG&E publicly traded? I don't think so, are they? Yeah, I don't think so.
Said like I ain't got it, so I don't know.
Let's do Starbucks. That's more of a medium kind of company. I want to stay away because NVIDIA, you start getting into trillions of dollars, and that's a lot of figuring, right? And our calculators don't go that high. So, so let's do Starbucks. Okay, so everybody on your computers, look. I need you to look up Starbucks. Okay? I need you to look up Starbucks. Now, I gave you guys some sites of where to look last time, right? You can look up where? Yahoo Finance. You can also look up where?
Oh, you told me somewhere on Google.
I said Yahoo Finance. This was from our last session. Yahoo Finance is one place you can look it up. But then I gave you guys a whole website.
You tell us the app. You gave us the app.
Not Robinhood. I gave you an app. I told you to download the app.
Wait, what was that app called?
So you have Trading View.
Trading View. All right? So go to Trading View. Right? And look up Starbucks. Okay? This is Trading View. All right? Nope. Should not have. Okay, so go to trade. Yeah, it did. It just cut off for some reason. Oh, probably because my battery's low. I have my thing, but it's in the room. Hold on. Okay, y'all look up Starbucks. I got to get my portable battery. You should be able to download Trading View as an app. An app. Did I say that right? As an app. Okay. Here we go. As a app or as an app? All right, let's see. Huh? Starbucks. Okay, it's up. Yeah, but you're on the charts. You want to go to the overview.
The overview?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. You need to use my phone? Oh, okay. Okay.
But I remember we had to go to something else before we did the market. I mean, before we did the.
Yeah. Huh? Let me see your phone.
Was inside of something. Huh? Look at this one. Pastor.
Hmm? Boom. Starbucks.
So we're doing NASDAQ, right?
If you just put in SBUX and it'll
So we're doing C overview or launch chart?
C overview. You want to do C overview. You got to see it?
And then you said now,
Hmm?
what was we looking at?
Starbucks. SBUX. X. All right. Yes. I don't know how to tell you. Oh, okay.
Okay, wait.
Nope, not yet.
I don't think I did overview.
I just want everybody on the first page first. Because I got to walk you guys through it. So I want everybody on the first page first, and then we'll go to the next part.
But that's not the overview, huh?
No, that's not the overview. Do SBUX. Okay. Okay, and then you want boom. And then you want not launch chart, see overview. Boom. Boom. Okay, everybody there? Everybody on the front page? You got it? Okay, you got it? Okay. And you're just going to sit there and not have it and not say nothing?
No, I just waiting.
Where are you at?
I said training overview because I didn't download the app. I was just trying to do it from my search.
Oh, no, you got to go to your store.
Yeah, that's what I was trying not to do. Okay, so I got to do that.
Yeah. It's a free download. It's not going to charge you.
No, I'm not talking about the free download. I'm hoping
Space?
I have enough space. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. You want to use my phone? All right, there you go. So I actually have the app, so
Okay,
boom.
yeah.
There you go.
I'll do it on my at home.
Okay. So then type in Starbucks, SBUX. Where we at? Yeah, there we go. Boom. There we go. And then put in SBUX and then bring it up. Everybody on the front page? Okay. All right. SBUX. Mm-hmm. You got it. And yep, just hit that.
This one?
Mm-hmm. Boom. There you go. Okay. All right. So here's where we're going. Everybody with me? Okay. So here's where we're going. I want you to scroll down. Okay. And we're going to go someplace, but I just need for you to get familiar with the page. Okay? Scroll down, and you'll see upcoming earnings, right? Key stats. We'll talk about the earnings in a little bit. Key stats. We'll come back to that. It gives you information about the employees. They have 381,000 employees. Right? Did you know Starbucks was that big, really?
They getting ready to shut some down too, though.
Probably.
What is Starbucks again?
SBUX.
SBUX. Okay, now make sure you take it to the NASDAQ one, but when you press it, it's going to say, do you want...
Okay.
You can give her the option to, if she wanted to look at the overview. Oh, but that is the overview.
Yeah. All right. So, again, you just want to get familiar with this stuff, and we'll go into what all of this means, these charts, the financials, the revenue. We'll get into all of that. The earnings, that's going to be big for us. And then down here, this is what I wanted you to see, news. Right? So if you want to find out some current information, then you can begin to just, if you're interested in Starbucks, you can begin to read some news about it, right? You want to get familiar with it. You know what I mean? It's just like if you got a dude you're looking at and you're like, man, I'm kind of interested in him. Listen, go talk to his friends or something. Look him up on Facebook, right? You want it, what's the news? You know what I mean? What's on the street about this dude, right? And so that's what this is, okay? And again, it's you just getting more familiar with the company. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So here we go. So go all the way back up to the top. And I want you to click. You should see under Starbucks, or if you look on the screen, you'll see where I'm at. There's this overview, and then I want you to click on financials right there. And you'll get this screen. Okay? Let me know if you're there. Okay. Then I want you to go to statements and click statements. Everybody there? Okay. Then I want you to go down underneath these graphs and I want you to click balance sheet. You with me? Okay. So now you have total assets and total liabilities. Come all the way over here to Q4 2025. How many assets does Starbucks have? 32 billion. How many liabilities? Right? So, right.
Didn't you say they just lost somebody?
They
Somebody just
they replaced their CEO with the Chipotle CEO. Yeah. Well, he's a great CEO. I have no doubt he'll turn it around. He's not doing Chipotle anymore.
he fixed Chipotle and they like, okay, we didn't pay enough for you, bye.
Yeah. Okay. And so, so if you go here under total assets and then you click this arrow, right? See where I'm at? Total assets, click the arrow. And then you see where it says total current assets? That's really the number you want. Okay? Total current assets. And then under total liabilities, you click and you want total current liabilities, and then you start doing the math. Yep.
So now they only
Huh?
down.
Yeah.
Well, instead of the 8 billion that we thought they would do.
Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So then what you would do on your paper, if you're reviewing Starbucks, if you're interested, you would come to working capital, and then what you would discover immediately is Starbucks ain't got no money. Right? They ain't got no money.
So I know last time you were telling us about the 25 and the percentage and everything like that.
Yes.
They down already. Would you not even do that chart?
Yes. So here's the thing. This is what I gave you guys last time, right? And I told you we don't buy stocks. So when you think about buying stocks, you got to think about buying stocks like going shopping. You know what I mean? Like you don't go to the store and just buy stuff because they selling it. You want a discount, right? You want a sale, right? And so Benita's good at that. Listen, Benita will find you a deal in a deal, right? And so, that's how you need to shop for stock. And so if a company is down 10% from their all-time high, right? And we covered that last time. If they're down 10%, that's 10% off their all-time high. 20%, 30%. That's when we start looking, right? And it's like, ooh, they down 30%. But if I'm looking at Starbucks and I see they down 30% from their all-time high, I'm gonna want to know why. Is this just a normal pullback, or is something wrong with the company? So then I dive into my 5 key ratios. And then I start looking at, okay, let me look at their working capital. Ooh, that's why they down. they ain't got no money. Right? And so Starbucks is off my list as an investable company right now. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? Because my discipline is I don't invest in companies that lose money. Because at that point, I'm gambling. I'm not investing. I'm betting. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Because if they're closing stores in order to save money, they can save money by closing stores, but they also cut revenue, right? So the question becomes, is the revenue cut greater than the store closure?
Probably operating costs, because you got to think about operating costs. Because I noticed that the ones that I served like 5 Starbucks, and 3 of them they closed,
Yeah.
right? And some of them are smaller branches where they don't have a drive-through. Some of them are, they're just not.
And not in a high
They're not in
value.
a high volume area.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll start to close those ones that's not really bringing in the best revenue, or at least a decent revenue,
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that all the employees they pay, operating costs, electric bill,
Yeah, yeah.
the cost of product,
Yeah, yeah.
all those things got to be factored in.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah. All this is right. So and this is the stuff. Like all of this is public information, right? That's the advantage we have, right? All of these companies are regulated by the SEC. The SEC is the stock market police, so they regulate all of these companies. And companies can lie and stuff like that, and companies have before. But by and large, companies got to play by the rules. So they have to publish their stuff. And because they can publish their stuff, because they have to publish their stuff, it's harder to hide things, right? Some companies got creative accounting, but it's hard to hide things for a long period of time, is the point. And you and I have access to the information. It's just that if we don't know what information to access, right? And the way that they put this stuff in here, they put it in here so you'll never find it. Because it's super confusing to the average person. If I would have sent you here to Starbucks without walking you through the process, you never would have got to the balance sheet, and you just, yeah. So, because they don't make it friendly like that. Okay, but here we go. So let's do another one. Let's do GEV. Let's do GEV. No, I'm not going to tell y'all how to do it. I want y'all to just do it. So find GEV and then tell me what is their working capital. Right? Okay? And you only get good at this by practicing it. Right? And the more you do it, this will be like second nature. You'll have these 5 key ratios in your head. So the moments anybody tells you about a company, like I got a friend, and he always telling me about a company all the time. Hey man, I'm telling you, I bought 1,000 shares of this, man. You might want to come over there and get it, man, because this is happening, that's happening. And he'll send it to me, and I'll be like, all right. As soon as he sends it to me, I just put it through my 5 key ratios. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, it's not investable. Right. GEV. What is their working capital? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because Carlton is a gambler. Huh?
I'm trying to get back to you so I can.
Oh. Just go here. Boom. Search and then GEV. Mm-hmm. Did you find it? Okay. What's their? You got the info? You got the info?
Oh, I didn't do the
Okay. Okay. Yep.
this one. Well, whatever. I can't see.
You,
Is it this? Is that a 35?
yes.
Okay, that one and that one. That one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Total current assets and total current liabilities.
Okay.
And then do the math. Hmm?
First time this place has ever been this nice and warm. I promise.
Matter of fact, I'll turn that thing off because I'm sweating.
I need you to take off your
Yeah, total current assets, total current liabilities, and I need y'all to do the math. Yeah.
Sign up and all that. I was like, man, what?
Oh, yeah, they. At some point, all of them gonna try to get you to sign up for something. Yeah. My foot again.
What, gout?
Yeah.
Bro, see, this kind of stuff, man, really
So,
upsets me, man. That's too much. You having too much sodium, man.
man, listen, I was like, just today, well, because it started yesterday. Did you guys get .202 or no?
No, but I know it's .20.
Huh? So I'm trying to figure out how y'all got .20.
Okay, so you said the total current assets, right?
Yes.
That was 35.47. Well, they only have quarter 3.25. So should I have quarter 4? No, they only got quarter 3.
Yeah, you want the last quarter.
The 35.47 billion, right?
Uh-huh.
Coming down to total current liabilities.
Uh-huh.
35.27.
Uh-huh.
And so that's point.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. Yep.
I did go to Kennedy though. Look, they always talk about it.
All right. So you got it? So they positive or negative? They tight, but they positive. All right. They tight, but they positive. Yes.
When they be saying you buy when it's low, so
Yeah.
what does that mean? I mean, so is that
That's when you do the
considered when
20,
they're bad?
30% that he was talking about.
10
Right?
or the 10, 20?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah.
we do that. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. You buy when the stock price is down. Yep. Huh? Which one?
Oh, and then you said
Run it through the 10, 20, 30 chart? Yeah, we can.
the balance sheet. Okay.
And then you know how you click on the total assets, so it can give you the current, and then go down to the liabilities, so it can give you the current, and that's where you see the 35.47 and 35.27.
Okay. Did everybody find it? Did everybody come up with the same thing? All right. So what? What did you come up with? So oh, got you.
35.47 billion is a current total asset, and a total current liability
Uh-huh.
is 35.27 billion.
Okay.
So that means that it is actually
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Does everybody have one of these? No?
20 million. That was point two. Yeah, that's 20 million, right? That's 200 million, right?
I don't know. I didn't know that. I didn't get that depth. I just know
Okay.
Yeah, that's 200 because after the point leaves the comma, right?
Okay, so now that let's do this. Let's do this together, right? So this is we getting into the weeds of how you kind of research a stock. So on this page, I want you to put the ticker symbol for GEV, right? We're gonna do some math right quick. Put the ticker symbol for GEV.
Oh, I didn't get one of these, Pastor.
Okay, which is GEV, right? And then you want to put the date, and then you want to put, right, today's date, and then you want to put, and it's important to track dates, right? It's important to track dates. I'll explain all that later. And then the next column, you want to put what the price is for their 52-week high.
On that page right there,
Yep.
we have to go back, right?
I just did it for you because I didn't want to lug everybody over to Yahoo Finance. Yes. Yeah. So if you go to Yahoo Finance and put in GEV, it's going to show you under these things here, you'll find the 52-week range, and you'll find out that within 1 year, the GEV was as low as 252, and it was as high as 731. So 731 is the all-time high in 52 weeks. The 1 year all-time high is $731. Okay? Right? So you want to put that right here. 52-week high, $731, right? And then from here, all you do is you just do math, right? So take 10% off of 731, and then whatever that, and so what is the 10% number, right? It'd be like $73. So you would put under 10% number, you would put $73, and then you take $73 from the 731, and that gives you your 10% off price. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, all right. And then you do the same thing for 20%, and you do the same thing for 30%. Okay? This is the kind of stuff they need to be teaching in school. Yep. Yep. Yeah. One of my kids, he just hit me up today, and he called me. He was like, "Pastor Coleman," and I said, "Yes." I said, "What's up, Angelo?" He said, "I'm at $4,100 in assets." So I was like, "Come on, Angelo, do your thing, man."
20% is gonna be
Yeah.
$146.
Oh yeah. she ready to go? Man, she was like, "Can you just manage my account?" I was like, "I'm not doing that." Your dad is doing that. Oh, it failed. Okay. All right.
You didn't get 585? Oh, that's because you did the 10 cents. Okay, you doing the change from off of the,
Yes.
I didn't do the change.
So yeah, make sure you do that.
It's gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
$146.20.
Okay, I'll explain it. Give me a sec. I'll explain it.
I'm just rounding. You got 584, right? 585. one.
There you go. So then you want to figure out if it's you want to figure out how far away is the current price.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, you know what? I don't think I had a. I should have put on here a column for the current price. Yeah, because you want to find out how far away is the current price from 10% off, 20% off, 30% off. How far are you away?
3 times 7 is 14, 21.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have added one more column. Said you got to show me how to do Excel stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can tell you that. I can teach you that.
Yeah, because I'm doing this on Word.
The formulas
Yeah.
sales,
Huh?
the formulas inside of the sales, so if you just put that number, it'll automatically put
And see, that's why I'm asking Sid, because I know he knows how to do that. And so, because all of this could be easy in an Excel spreadsheet. You just plug in the numbers and it does the calculations. And so, Yeah. Right. So, see, I'm over here being Blockbuster. Right, Netflix is out here chilling. I'm over here Blockbustering, Yeah. Right.
But you know what? I got it's actually $17.
Yes, it would be. But I like to do it manually. Because doing it manually, what I want is for people to interact with it, right? Like go find the information, go get it, get used to it. So, yeah, hands on, do the math, and then we can make it easier. But I need to figure out a way to make it easier because I do all this stuff manually right now. Right. All right. Okay. And so the last three, the current price of GEV is $662.32. So for the last three, you want to find out how far is $662.32. How far is that away from being 10% off? How far is that away from being 20% off? How far away is that from being 30% off? That's what the last three columns are, right?
What you got as a 30% amount?
Okay, which one of these comes closest? 10%? You said what? 10%?
No, the 30%. So I got 512, but I thought it's in between the 10 and the 20%.
Because it was 662.
And this is 658.
658, so it's the 10%.
So you telling us that right now we should wait? Because you said if it's only the 10%, it's in between the 10 and 20%.
No, I'm not saying that you should wait. All I want you to do right now, we're not at the decision-making part. We're at the part where I'm trying to get you guys to understand the numbers, right? So when you start looking at a stock, you want to be able to figure out, oh man, if I buy stocks at 10% off, like I'm 2% off of my threshold. I'm 3% off of my threshold.
What's the next number? What was the rest of the other numbers? 6 what?
There we go. 32. Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah. No, I do. I don't like to though. Yeah, I don't like to. Huh? Yeah. I don't like to, but I do. I just don't like to. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. It's driving my cost basis down. So yeah. So and that's why I don't like it. I like to buy as much as I can. You know. Yeah. So yeah. So that's why like I bought 100 shares of SoFi, and I'm like, man, I need to get another 100 shares because my first goal is 500 shares, and then my second goal is 1,000 shares. Yeah, and so and I'm like, I don't want to spend all of that money right now, but but I gotta go in and get my second 100. About what? Oh, high yield savings. So yeah, they have one. Yeah, that's I I love, huh? Yeah, 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 yeah. High yield savings accounts are great. Yeah, yeah. I I yeah, they was like at four. I think SoFi had one of the highest ones. Um, yeah, I think that was like at 4 or 5% or something. I'm not sure what it is now. Yeah, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, that's what it is now. Okay. Yeah, yeah. It so the interest rate cuts those as well. Oh, hmm. Yeah, for a minute. Yeah, yeah. Huh. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You talking about doing SoFi? No, SoFi is easy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. SoFi is easy.
So it's $4 away from 10%.
Okay, 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 okay. All right. Y'all cooking. Y'all cooking with gas. Y'all over there cooking with gas.
It's $77 away from 20%.
So how much is 20% off for GEV,
It's $146. That's how much you take off.
which would be how much? Stock price.
I put 585.
585.
I round
Okay. So GEV actually dropped over $100 in December.
and that was the time to buy it when you bought it when this was up.
They were flying high, right? Look at this. So their high,
Ooh.
right? Their high, the 731 or whatever,
Oh, it was on the 10th.
was somewhere in early December. That was their high, their all-time high. And then they took a drop down to about like 614.
Days later, huh?
Yep.
8 days later.
That probably was around the time the market took that dip, and everybody was there, right?
Yeah, something happened. I forget what happened, but yeah, they took a huge, like over 100 point. It was crazy. It was crazy, and then they came back at the end of December. Remember, I showed y'all my account. I had a GEV option, and I was down like $2,000, $2,500, something like that. And then they shot up like the next day, and I was up like 3,000, 4,000. I hurried up and sold that joint. Yep.
Right now, like you say, it's 6 something.
Yep.
I already had the all-time high was 7 something.
Yep.
It's going back there at some point.
Yeah.
Getting one of them options and let that bad boy ride out.
Yeah. So let me explain one thing to you guys just right quick. So this right here was last year in April, where GEV got down to low 200s. I mean the high 200s, 271, something like that, right? The question is, why did they get down so low? The answer is because Trump got elected. And after Trump got elected, he started the year off talking about them tariffs. And it crashed the market something terrible.
Wasn't that in March? Wasn't that the March one?
March, April time frame, yep. And so from the March, April time frame,
That boy was
if you got in and held right now, yeah, you go from 200 and something, $260, $70 to 662 in what, 8 months?
$400, almost up to over $400 a share.
Yeah, that's 300%. That's about a 300% return. Yeah, right. And so yeah, so this is why I'm telling you, right? This is why I don't like dollar cost averaging, but so because realistically, and I want you guys to be able to kind of think this way. I'll introduce you guys to playing options. That's a whole different ball game because you can make a lot of money really fast, and I'll show you that. But when you're thinking buy and hold, right, which is where everybody is, where I would love for you guys to start, buy and hold, where you buy shares and you hold them. This is what you got to think. You want to spend the majority of your time learning the market and learning the companies and save your money. Hear me when I'm telling you. Save your money. You just want to stack, right? You want to stack. And I'll tell you why. Because what you're waiting on is another April. You're waiting on the market to crash. Because when it's red, that means it's green. Right? And so everybody that I listen to, everybody's expecting a 5 to 10% pullback in the first quarter of the year at some point. That's the expectation. Yeah, no worries.
5 o'clock, come to.
I got you. Yeah, we're about to wrap up.
Everybody open up an investment account?
I hope so. But all I'm trying to say is when you're looking at purchasing, you don't need to purchase every week or every day or every month. What you want to do, and this is why this part is important, these things, because what you just did, like for GEV, and you can do it for any stock you're looking at, you just figured out what 10% off looks like. You just figured out what 20 and 30% looks like, and you just figured out how far away you are from that 10, 20, and 30%. And so the goal for the investor is you stack your money and you wait. And you let the market give you your prices. Right? Don't try to counsel the market. Let the market do what it does, and when you see your opportunity, boom, that's when you strike. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And so next time we'll go over, if you have your laptops, we'll go over the other 4 key ratios because you're going to need those to tell whether or not a stock is healthy or unhealthy, whether you should invest or whether you shouldn't. Okay? Thank you guys for coming out.